I got my favorite psychic readers, and I would like for them to do a reading on Larry Hoover and this cyber parade and the outcome on their platform, so that the people can start getting it across different platforms what we doing. If we can get a couple of different psychics to pull the reading, and y'all be surprised at what they're going to all say the same thing. Right? I'm telling you what they cards going to say before y'all ever ask them to pull them. Some of us got spirit readers that read tea, different stuff like that. Get them to use a platform. Ask them to do the reading about the Free Larry Hoover Cyber Parade and the outcome from spirit on their platform. Challenge them. See if it's real. Tell them to see if this shit real. Challenge the oracles to see if it's real. When you get 15 to 20 different oracles telling you the same shit that this motherfucking telling you, that's when you know that I know what I'm talking about. You ain't gonna know it before then. You know? So, Larry is blood tied to the land, a Mississippian by birth. He is the chieftain that all of the chiefs want to speak for us. Are these banners. See, I want y'all to see more than one. This one right here, it's another one. Right? That one say, we see clearly 2/22/2022 flips the consciousness to the 5D when we see hashtag Free Larry Hoover flip the narrative back to the original Earthborn Neteru. Then the next one was the purple rain reveals a purple rain, a righteous decoy, blood in, true blue, right? Red and blue make purple. 2/22/2022 means a noble line comes with the proof. Free Larry Hoover for him to tell us the truth. So Larry is the one got to give us an update on the land. We have to demand that our chief, this our system, because we can't use their system to get our system back. We have to overthrow their system using our own shit. By the general consensus of the tribes people across the land is all saying on the same day at the same time, Free Larry Hoover. They know we ain't bullshitting, and that's the only thing we have to do to shake this shit free. Right? Here's another one. Right? And y'all can make y'all own. Y'all don't have to necessarily use mine. Y'all can whatever y'all think we need to do to get this motherfucker back right and to get the imposters out. Y'all can make the 222 meme however you want to do it. Put it in your timeline. We building up to it, but we want to flood their ass and post this shit all day on the 22nd until they have to address this shit publicly, because now they can't deny us. And once they can no longer deny us and ignore us, this motherfucking squeaky wheel gonna get oiled like a motherfucker. That's just the way it is. This is the law of the land. We've been operating under the law of the seas. The law of the Papal See hadn't got shit to do with me and my people. We want our shit back, and the only way that we can take it back is to prove we are not imbeciles in law. If you go in to Google, right? No. Matter of fact, I already did the post. Let me show y'all the post. Papal Bulls. It was by the order of the Pope that they took all of our birthright inheritance, because the Pope said that we were imbeciles in law. Right? Now, here's a post y'all might want to read. I'm going to go over some of this stuff right quick. This post started out step by step. Oh, this is nationality post. But if you look at the pictures, Code of Thieves, the Code of Thieves, the ancient Code of Thieves is today called the Uniform Commercial Code. If you know the Uniform Commercial Code, if you are the trust holder, you can live off the trust and take care of yourself as long as you don't violate the principle of the trust, right? And if you don't violate the principle of the trust, only the person that can unlock the right to the trust by blood and by right can they access the trust. So now the trustee has been confronted, right? The trustees coming to find out we're imposters. The Pope was an imposter drag queen. The president was a puppet figurehead. They was all imposters. All of the Lizard Queen and all her little cronies sitting over there like they was the real royal families while the royal families of Europe hid. They hid out over here. They hid out in Switzerland. Anywhere that you heard them say a country was neutral and all of the wars is breaking out all around them, that ought to tell y'all something. That ought to tell y'all something because all of the motherfucking money was being funneled through Switzerland. So who the fuck was in Switzerland so goddamn important that they get to stay out of World War I, World War II, Vietnam, Korea? They ain't got nothing to do with that shit. They stayed out of the 6-Day War for Israel. They didn't get in the Civil War. They didn't get... Who in the fuck is in Switzerland that these motherfuckers is unmolested and they don't have to take part in no wars, but everybody money have to be funneled through Switzerland? Well, they got their Swiss Army ass Swiss cheesed up for trying to motherfucking play us like we couldn't figure it out. Sooner or later, we gonna figure it out. We gonna knock on this reality in every direction until we figure out the conundrum, the scrambled egg that they said could never be unscrambled. Well, I unscrambled that motherfucker. I'm telling y'all, we got the right, we got the birthright to the land, and we got the right to the motherfucking claim. I did everything else. Now I have to have the clansmen on the land remember who the fuck you is. Call forth your leader to explain the problem. Larry got to come out and tell y'all why the chiefs on the land was not able to execute their duties by keeping the tribes of the land in order. They have to explain that to y'all. This is why they don't want them brothers out of the penitentiary. We've been at war. The war never stopped. But y'all have no concept of protracted struggle. Therefore, you're not watching the long game and ain't really paying too much attention to the short game. The only way out of this shit is us. Ain't no white man gonna come give y'all no keys to no country. That's an illusion painted by the establishment to delude you. Only by using your system, exercising your birthright to the land, in unison with your brothers similarly situated according to tribal law, the law of the land and the common law, supreme jurisdiction of the unified nations all across the land, 500 north, 500 south. That's 1,000 nations on this land. From North America to South America to 10,000 nations in a solid voice telling these motherfuckers we back for every fucking thing y'all owe. It ain't up to nobody else now. It's up to us if we gonna pay attention. Right? I done produced the receipts. I told you who did it. Some of the motherfuckers I actually thought was some good people and I liked them. But they did the dirt. They sold us the fuck out. Yes, they did. And I don't give a fuck about what they look like. They did what the fuck they did and we ain't happy about it. They did what they did. It's nothing personal. We fuck that shit. What do we do from here? From here, we go into the Indigenous Rights Act. I pulled it up on my Facebook video and I read some of it. But I encourage all of y'all to read it, to explain to y'all the process of the changing over of the government back to the tribal jurisdiction. You have to know the process. So I have to explain to y'all the process by which the transition of power is currently and actively taking place, waiting on the tribal membership at large to assert their desire to restore the land, airwaves, and the waterways, and to cease and desist with all polluting of the land, cease and desist with all motherfucking kidnapping of the children, the rape and pillaging campaign, the holding hostages of the wealth of the wealthiest people on the planet. Us. Right? Us. We ain't singing the blues no more, motherfucker. We not tap dancing and we ain't asking. Once they know that we all in agreement by breaking their algorithm, they have to address the issue. There's a big ass elephant in the room with a gorilla on her back. She want her shit and the gorilla is banging on his motherfucking chest waiting for them to turn us a fucking loose to tear this bitch up. But mama didn't want us to tear it up. She wanted us to do it by the process first. And if they don't honor the process, we upset the motherfucking peace. This is where we at with it. If we do our part, they got two options. Deal with the motherfucking forces from beyond this bitch that's gonna come in and then they ain't got no weapons for, or they gonna deal with us. And I guarantee you they'd rather deal with us because they already been exposed to who they got to deal with. They already raining their satellites down. They got y'all talking, thinking it's a geostorm. That was them motherfuckers on Nibiru did that shit. Blew them goddamn satellites down so that they can't interrupt your progress. I don't even like talking about them motherfuckers up there. Because I'm trying to get y'all to focus on what's going on down here. But y'all can't even focus on down here. And them motherfuckers up there is showing y'all, they showing a natural born ass. And y'all still thinking it's the same old business as usual ass shit. They shut the fuck down HARP. That shit closed. This ain't HARP y'all seeing. This them motherfuckers up there on them ships. This ain't got nothing to do with HARP. Them niggas on them ships. I don't even fuck with them like that. Anybody know me know I don't even like to talk about them motherfuckers like that because my personal opinion is I don't believe that we pay enough attention on what's in front of us and we ain't got time to be looking up to no goddamn stars, but goddamn, I can't even ignore this shit no more. That's the part I'm pissed off about. I can't, now I gotta talk about this shit and they already think I'm crazy. Now I'm about to tell y'all about these motherfuckers shooting satellites down. They really gonna call me batty and nuts. I don't give a fuck. I got to let you know it. Whether I agree with it or disagree with it, the truth is the truth. And you get to watch the life beating him down. You get to watch the reporters reporting bullshit. Every time he get arrested, this is a big fucking deal. Everything he do, they amplify it, right? So now, something happened in the quiet studio, which a lot of the stuff I'm not going to dig as deep as I want to because there's some other stuff I would like to show y'all. The quiet studio situation is the springboard for the first 22 months. Now, what is the greatest sacrifice somebody can do? Self-sacrifice. Because there ain't nothing left after that. Self-sacrifice is the greatest sacrifice you can do. Now, in that interview, when he's talking about acting, he said they're trying to do the same thing to me with these movies that they're trying to do with my music. So before Quiet Studios, he dropped the album, Me Against the World. By the time Quiet Studio shooting is exposed, this is the biggest selling hip hop album and one of the biggest charting albums at the time.
So he is being pressured somewhere, but he not saying. But what are they pressuring him to do? Well, they want him to sign these contracts that cause him to end up losing in the end because they don't pay. It's not that it's not in the contract for him to pay, is that the industry is designed that if you look like us, you are not allowed to hold on to the wealth, and that's for a reason too. When Tupac discovered this, he started talking to his elders. Well, who was his elders? Go back and watch an interview with OG T. Rogers. I'm not going to give y'all all of the, I want y'all to do the research on what I'm saying, so I'm not going to give y'all all of the links. That Haitian Jack link with the 22 months and the 22 years is very important. So I put that in the comments. Now, the only way for me to come back is like Machiavelli. All these motherfuckers stole from me. So he's trying to get out the imposters, what he say on his interview with Death Row East. He's trying to get the imposters out. Who is he talking about? He's talking about the Jewish Defense League. How do you know? Well, you know because everybody that benefited after the so-called assassination in Vegas that benefited. In law enforcement, when they teach the law enforcement agents about an investigation, they tell them to follow the money. Follow the money. If you follow the money, 9 times out of 10, you're going to walk right up to the door of the person responsible, even if they're not the trigger man. So now, when we follow the money of Tupac Amaru Shakur, right after the Vegas incident, I'm not going to say it's an assassination. I'm going to call it an assassination attempt. But right after the Vegas incident, hey, Jillian, against Death Row filed a lawsuit against Finney because Tupac hadn't been sufficiently paid for his contract. Machiavelli, the album, was the final product for his Death Row contract. You have Suge Knight saying that he mentioned something to, I think it was Jimmy Iovine. And Jimmy Iovine got so fucking excited, he was like, yes, don't nothing sell like a dead artist. Ain't nobody pay that no attention because everybody looking at Suge as suspect. But you got to look at it all. You can't neglect to look at what Suge telling you that Tupac ain't dead. Tupac not dead, son. Look at it. Tupac not dead. You got this rip on here talking about who paid him to set Tupac up and they ain't arrested him yet. You know why they ain't arrested? And then my man was like, because he snitched. And he said, no, man, no, son, be smart. Tupac ain't dead. If he did, they'd be arresting these guys for murder. I had Tanique Reviews had a good article from a newspaper that was investigating, and they went and talked to the lead investigator on the Tupac case. And in the newspaper article, the lead investigator that's currently handling the Tupac case, or that was originally on Tupac's case, said we had a lot of tips. He's saying the most credible tips say that Tupac is alive. Now, this is the officer that's the lead investigators, and big up to Tanique Reviews for revealing that information. And I'm going to give y'all a reference of Tanique Review, because when I listen to the brother, he don't come across as an inflammatory guesser. He comes across as an intelligent investigator and almost reporter-like in his investigations. And so he give out a lot of good information. So I'm going to continue on with this. So if Tupac is trying to come back like Machiavelli, right? Machiavelli is in exile. Machiavelli is sending the prince, which is the blueprint for a prince to rule. It's a blueprint for a prince to rule, right? Now he's doing everything righteous by the rules of war. The first thing that you discover once you know that war is an act of violence to further a political agenda. When you understand that, and before you get to the violence part, war is a philosophical, political idea that's pushed by wars pushed by people who want to dominate, control, or a resource that another people have. In this particular situation, because of the whole resurrection program of the ancients, everybody want to do things righteous at the close of the age, which is now. So if you want to do everything righteous, the first thing you have to understand is when you fighting the enemy of